And we are live, looking at our local yellow dwarf here in 94 angstroms. The last 8.5 hours, we see a very large active region, a plage, 0 sunspots, solar minimum conditions continue, cryptos crash as the Asian market opens, Taco Bell's giving out a free taco, and more. Even some cosmology stuff. Let's look at the 171 angstroms view. Which is not playing for some unknown reason. Okay. And I can't advance it manually either. The SDO site is jacked up. Let's look at the colored magnetogram and still imagery, as I can't get the colored magnetogram animation to load either. Take a look at that plage, if I can get zoomed out sufficiently for this to be useful. There we go, there's that plage. You see a South Pole field, and a North Pole field, and a South Pole field, and a North Pole field, making this a very large cycle 24 plage. Not to be confused with a plague. A plage is a sandy beach or an active region on the sun associated with sunspots often. Anyway, there's some field complexity there. We're going to look at that in 171 angstroms also. Now let's put the magnetic lines in there too. And there you have it. There's that active region. There's actually a coronal hole sitting right underneath it, and another one kind of just north of the South Pole coronal hole. And I forgot to bring out Epic Pen, so there's that. So there's that one coronal hole practically connected to the South Pole. Another one right beneath this plage here, just kind of an odd setup. And let's get through a lot of other stuff, as there's a lot of stuff to cover. Before we do that, though, thanks for visiting our affiliate links yesterday, everybody. We've started a campaign through hemplucid.com. We put links in the description here. It's the spaced out smAsho campaign. If you want to visit the general store by itself, just hemplucid.com/a/smAshomash. That's hemplucid.com/a/smAshomash, or click the links in the description to get to the spaced out campaign. If you're not familiar with Hemp Lucid, they specialize in whole plant tinctures. So check that out. They also have isoterp THC free. They've got all kinds of products like lip balm and CBD wax products, body butters, even products for your pet. So check it out. And thanks, subscribers, as I see we got some new ones. And thanks to our latest Patreon, we are now up to 4, and that makes a huge difference. Here's a synoptic map by Spencer. And we see some filaments ahead of that plage, actually inside the plage, trailing the plage. We still see one up here in the northwest corner. Nothing to write home about. Solar minimum conditions in effect. Let's look at the real-time solar wind real quick. We see a recent fluctuation in the BZ. Phi angle is at 107 degrees. Solar wind density is 6.7 or so, kind of at a nominal level there. Solar wind speed very low at 325 or so kilometers per second. Next, we'll look at the magnetosphere movies. Let's look at the density and the pressure, as we are shortening these videos for various reasons. Anyway, there's the magnetosphere movies in terms of density. And I just had a weird bout of deja vu. Did my temporal lobe just light up for no apparent reason? Did I get cosmic ray fluxed? We may never know. Please leave a comment if you found yourself cosmic ray fluxed, or if you know what that means. Here's the pressure. And we will see some fluctuations here in this, as we've seen some recent fluctuations in the solar wind speed and density. And we're seeing the majority of the pressure located on the magnetotail side. So nighttime should be more discharged than the daytime side. I'm sure the F2 ionosphere map will show us. Let's look at ground perturbations also. We'll just look at the global scale. And for those of you not aware, we've got two North Poles right now. There's one over here. There's one over Siberia over here. And the South Pole is creeping up toward Western Australia. And I'm getting so much lag, I can barely operate my mouse. There's your pole excursion information. And we see that creep into the southern Indian Ocean as we have. We see some perturbations over the Siberian pole this time, as well as over the Canadian one. So that's a little bit of a new thing there. We've been seeing the primary perturbations over the Canadian North Pole. I'm going to skip the total electron content. So thanks again to our latest patron. We just put up some more exclusive content there. That meme is available for $1 a month. So thanks for everybody who's donating. It's making a huge difference. Please visit our cycling sponsor, which is theveloshop.net. Check that out. Go shop for a bike. Maybe get yourself a BMC team machine. I mean, these things are, I'm still actually considering this instead of a felt right now. Probably a road machine, actually, or perhaps a time machine. BMC are really the true Swiss Army knife of bicycles. So check out theveloshop.net and buy yourself a bike. Buy yourself some parts. If you want to sponsor the team, please email me at smashomash@gmail.com, and we will try to get you on the jerseys. It is still possible, believe it or not. There's also a GoFundMe page looking to raise another $455 or something like that by the first day of summer, which ain't happening. But hey, make it happen, folks. Donate to the cycling campaign, or send an anonymous donation to the PayPal link. We're going to go to the Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard, as we haven't looked at that for quite a while here. And I just want to show you the GOES X-ray imager, as the X-ray environment has increased due to that plage. So we're seeing background levels at practically a B flare range. And the 10.7 centimeter radio flux is still at 70. So holding steady there. We've had 0 sunspots for 16 days, and that's a consecutive 16 days. So expect to see an increase in X-ray flux as a result of that plage. Let's move on to spaceweathernews.com. And there you can see the X-ray flux is kind of as close to the B range there, just as a background level, and that's due to that plage, as there is some blacksmithing going on the surface of the sun right now. We see some spikes in the magnetometer here, some wild, jagged spikes there, as well as a weak reading. That plage is holding back the sun's B field, and we'll show you in a moment what we mean. KP is at 2. Electron flux has just come off of a pretty significant dip, although not the kind that you would see with a high power coronal hole wind stream. Surface charging hazards are non-existent, and the F2 layer is looking pretty discharged on the day and nighttime sides. Aurora forecasts will look weak. If the page loads, we will absolutely show them to you. There's the Borealis forecast. There's the Australis forecast. Let's move on. Again, there's a lot of stuff to cover. We're skipping cosmic rays. I wanted to give you a look at the B field, which is shown in blue on this Gong 2 map. And there you have the latest few days. I would note the way this active region is pulling back the B field, and that is causing some effects really on the whole sun, because that plage is quite huge, probably something like 25 Earths in diameter. Now let's go to the top view ecliptic plane field plot so we can watch those striations in the current sheet. which we saw yesterday. You'll see the field flashing green there over by stereo B, which is this. That's B, and this is stereo A. And we get this data by using Earth-based magnetometers, such as the National Sunspot Observatory, as well as magnetometers on stereo A and B. Gives us an idea of what's going on in the whole sun. And let's look at the last frame real quick. And there's the last frame. We're expecting a continued weakness in the magnetic environment until we get to this region right here, at which point there should be some sputtering abnormalities in the GOES magnetometer. You should be able to easily watch it if you look at the real-time data. Let's move on here. We're going to look at stereo A's coronagraph, as there was some ejecta reported by NOAA, and we're not exactly sure where it came from, as it did not show up on the LASCO. So the coronagraphs that are a little closer to home didn't really show any ejecta, and we'll be interested to see if this does. It would be in the last 24 hours. And there was a tiny bit of ejecta coming off right in this area. Let me stop that right there and put an arrow for you so you can see it. Right around that region there. I'll rock this back and forth. A little bit of ejecta coming out there. Nothing to really raise the alarm bells about. That's probably a very diffuse coronal mass ejection there. And that probably did come out of that active region. Let's move on to more stuff, such as the planetary locations as we approach a Jupiter conjunction. Here's where things are now. Milky Way galaxy team for the win. If you're watching from a different galaxy, please leave a comment, as we are very interested in your cosmology. Here's where things will be in 1 week. As Venus catches up, Earth approaches that Jupiter opposition. You should have a great view of Jupiter if you get up before dawn. Here's where it's located right now. So if you got a backyard telescope, break it out. Send us some info. Venus just rose, and it's just getting light out. Follow us on Instagram if you don't already do so. You might see great videos like this one. Now, this is a little more personal stuff here. Not really doing so much space weather. Although yesterday I took a long video of the sun. Probably going to put up a music video later today. We also like to mess around with the fish. And here I am just being weird. I'm not sure if Jaws approves or not. So let's just move on. Also follow us on Twitter if you have an account there. Follow us on Facebook, on Minds.com. Links to all these sites in the description. Minds.com, the social media network that won't censor you. Also check us out on Gab, our latest foray into social media. Please press like and subscribe if you haven't already done so on the YouTube page. As if you don't follow us here and press that notification bell, you may not see when these live streams come out. We are covering most of this solar stuff days at least before anybody else. At least 12 hours before anybody else. So if you want the ultimate early warning, I suggest you follow the channel. Let's look at earthquakes. Here's a 4.3 out at Japan. Check the location of that one, as there was a 6 magnitude just a few hours ago. So there's the location of that. Just east of the main coast there. Largest quake at New Zealand for a while. Shout out New Zealanders. If you felt that quake, please leave a comment. Let us know if a picture of your mother-in-law fell off the wall and smashed on the floor. Here's a 5.0 at Tonga. 4.9 southeast of Amsterdam Island, France. What? Amsterdam Island. I guess it must be owned by France. Some little tiny island. Jeez. Talk about out in the middle of nowhere. Haven't seen a quake there that I remember. Let's move on to cover the rest. Largest quake in quite a while in California at a 3.9 at Cobb. The Geysers has been experiencing earthquakes for quite a while. Here we see a 4.3 at depth at New Zealand. Heads up New Zealand for a larger quake at the surface. 4.5 at Chile. 6.3 at Japan. That's the largest quake of the past 24 hours. And that is not good news for Japan, as it is at 430 kilometers depth. Heads up. That's just directly south of Tokyo. So heads up for a larger quake at the surface there. And that could be a tsunami-producing quake, as if that quake happened at the surface, that would be over a 7 magnitude quake, folks. 4.5 at Chile here. That's 117 kilometers depth. Fiji experiencing another 5.2. Just in the past 2 hours. And let's look at pressure maps here, as pressure maps can warn of coming earthquakes. So let's move this back to now and then play the forecast, courtesy of windy.com, who has a fantastic mobile app. Now, if you see a low pressure system moving east to west instead of west to east, that's an anomaly. If you see a low pressure system moving north to south or skirting a plate boundary exactly, that's an anomaly. These are associated with earthquakes. If you're not familiar how to predict earthquakes, check out quakewatch.net, as Ben Davidson is a pioneer in the science of predicting earthquakes. The USGS might tell you that it's not doable. It's doable. And there are contests going on all the time. Anyway, there's the pressure maps. Let's move on here before we become old and gray, because there's still more stuff to cover. Check out volcanodiscovery.com for today's earthquakes. Tucono remains on the list, producing a 7,000-foot plume there and producing some explosive activity. Popocatépetl producing a 32,000-foot plume, uptick at Popocatépetl. Don't fly over that in your homemade helicopter. Revenador, ongoing emissions. Sabancaya, intermittent emissions of the 27,000-foot ash plume. Please don't pole vault over that. And weak emissions at Patos de Chilean. Here's a weather.gov map. There are your warnings and watches. Severe thunderstorm, flood watch and flood warning in southern Texas. What a surprise. And also some frost advisories in upstate New York and northern PA. Also, we're going to have rapid melting as they're getting high temperatures in the north central states, the northern Rockies. And there's the tropical tidbits map. That's your temperature anomaly at 2 meters. And it is freezing cold. The forecast low last night for where I am in Lehigh Valley, PA was in the mid 40s. Yesterday's high temperature was around 69, and the normal high for June 3rd is 78. So 9 degrees below average there. And let's just play the forecast for you here. This is the GFS forecast temperature anomaly, courtesy Tropical Tidbits. There's Wednesday, there's Thursday. So we're going to see continued hot weather here in the northern U.S. and the snow melt is going to be massive. And let us know if it's cold or hot where you are. You see some cold pulses there in the south also. Let's just move on. Here's the U.S. Doppler radar map, courtesy AccuWeather.com. And we see more severe storms across Oklahoma and possible Sasquatch farts over eastern Wisconsin. Oklahoma City, you're in the crosshairs. Heads up, Enid. And Tulsa, you're next. Shout out if you're from Texas or Oklahoma and leave a comment. Now, This is a possible Sasquatch fart. This is looks like a lingering Sasquatch fart. If you're in this area around Flint, Detroit, Ann Arbor, please leave a comment and let us know if you smell strange smells or see dimensional portals and UFOs containing Wookiee-like organisms, as it's possible that there are some Sasquatches or Bigfoots or whatever you want to call them gating in to your plane of existence near Flint. Maybe they like tainted water supplies. I'm not sure. Here's a lightning map. Looks like we got some pretty heavy lightning here in around Lincoln, Nebraska. If you're not familiar with lightningmaps.org, next time you hear thunder, check it out, Lincoln. You got incoming. Look at the water vapor map to let y'all know what's going on above your head, as we pride ourselves on our channel on showing you that which is not obvious, showing you the unseen world of science. Anyway, here's the water vapor. And this UV satellite doesn't care if it's condensed on a cloud or not. It sees it regardless. Anyway, there's what's going on. We can see this cold jet stream is what's making it so frigid in PA right now. I'm going to go out and ride the bike regardless today. And check out this storm. Man, oh man, that is intensifying as it heads north and begins to swirl in a counterclockwise fashion. Will it be a hurricane? Probably. Check it out. That thing is building quickly. And it looks like it's going to smash right into the east coast of Mexico there. Shout out Mexican viewers. If you're able to see the videos, you probably understand the difference between your ass and a hole in the ground. Speaking of knowing things, let's define the term economy. Now, people think the economy equals the stock market, and that's not true at all. Really, the economy amalgamates all of the activity. So really, it's the flow of all goods, services, and currencies around the whole world. The economy is not the stock market. The stock market is just one component, as the bond market, the commodities market, the currency market, government behavior, all that sort of stuff is part of the economy. Speaking of the economy, cryptos are crashing as Asia opens. Bitcoin back below the support level of 8,000. We'll show you a little more in-depth stuff. It looks like selling in the Korean market. There are already links in the description to this Zero Hedge article, so please check that out. Let's look at this precipitous fall in crypto. Now, I sidelined all of my crypto funds about 3 weeks ago because I didn't like the way the graph looked. And let's just show you the 6-month graph. I'll show you where I cashed out of crypto entirely. And I don't know what I'm doing now. What is happening? The whole operation is just crashing. It's coming crashing down around us, folks. So anyway, there's the dip. I sold all of my crypto. Jeez, are you serious? I sold all of my crypto right around here. Not at the trough, but let me draw a better arrow. I sold my crypto about here. If that's helpful to you. I know it's a pretty big arrow. Anyway, there's the Bitcoin graph according to Coinbase, which is a crypto exchange. We're going to look at Ethereum also. There's Ethereum. This is what programmers use as a means of exchange. And it's one of my favorites as it's helping to fix the internet. And where the hell did it go? How many times do I got to click on it? Microsloth? I'll get you, Microsloth. And here's the 1 month chart of Ethereum. Again, I sold about here. because that was a very sketchy looking peak after an extended period of flatlining. So here's the 1 year chart, and I bought in February, and I sold right about here, and I doubled my money. It was only a small, very small investment as a proof of concept, and as our regular viewers know, proof of concept is one of the missions of our smAshomash.org. S&P and NASDAQ are set to open lower. There's the S&P 1 year chart, as there's been a little bit of a market correction going on. Study says drinking 25 cups of coffee a day is still safe for the heart, assuming you'll be able to get to sleep at night. Keep in mind, caffeine has a 6-hour half-life. So if you drink 4 cups of coffee right now, in 6 hours, it'll still be as if you drank 2 cups of coffee. 6 hours after that, it'll still be as if you drank 1 cup of coffee. Silver is actually down 2 cents. It looks like wheat continues to fall. We're just going to look at that real quick. The 1 month chart of wheat, as it has had a precipitous rise. We called this uptick 2 months ago, folks, and it all had to do with record snowfall in the Northern Hemisphere. So anyway, here's a little information about the market. Here's a little information about spam and BS and software that doesn't hardly function. Google Chrome. Google Chrome changes may make normal ad blocking an enterprise-only feature. That's right. Why do we use Brave browser? Because of crap like this. The Chrome browser is nothing but a way to spy on you. So read the article at Extreme Tech, figure out how Google's spying on you, and try to prevent it. Thanks for joining us, everybody, and thanks for taking a moment to comment. So please check out brave.com, the Brave browser, on a mission to fix the web. Wow. Google, Facebook, Twitter, all try to break it. Google, Facebook, Twitter, and who's the other one? There's another one too. I don't really care who it is. Some other big tech company that's trying to censor you. Also, check out DuckDuckGo.com, the search engine that doesn't track you. They won't store your personal information. They won't follow you around with ads, and they won't track you even out of private browsing mode. So check out DuckDuckGo.com if you'd like objective search results instead of the crap that Google will return. How about some nicer stuff? Let's look at some nicer things, such as this article, as I spill coffee all over myself. This article about NASA's nicer X-ray survey, building a giant full sky map in X-ray. Let's go to NASA's own page. We have links for all this, by the way. So here's the survey. You can see the Cygnus loop, the Vela pulsar, various other objects. Notice the magnetic looping, and this is because electromagnetic fields run the universe in terms of intergalactic motion, intragalactic motion. So we're really excited about this, and this data isn't even done being compiled yet. Again, links in the description. Please visit the links. Also, if you want to check out transients, check out the Neil Gorell Swift Observatory. For instance, how about the Vela pulsar? You want to check out the transients of Vela pulsar and watch it every day? Well, there's the radio astronomy for it. And we see just 20 days ago, it had a massive outburst. Anyway, the Neil Gorell's Swift Burst Alert Telescope Hard X-ray Observatory. And lastly, how about a feel-good article? The Warriors just earned everybody in America a free taco from Taco Bell. Now, we didn't check Taco Bell's stock price, but here's the deal. Due to their 109 to 104 victory on Sunday, Taco Bell says they'll award fans with a free Doritos Locos Taco on June 18th. You don't need to sign up. Just show up. You don't even have to be a Warriors fan. Show up between 2 and 6 p.m. on June 18th to get your free Doritos Locos Taco. Let's break out the 304 angstroms view. This is the last 48 hours, folks, as the SDO was having a little problem with their browse data. So we're going to try to play the last 48 hours and bring out the chat and call this a day. If you've got any kind of comments, etc., please leave them now, because we are going to be out of here in about a minute and a half. Thank you very much, Kalo Jan. I don't know why it's not playing. I pressed play. It just ain't playing. There we go. So anyway, there's the last 48 hours of the sun and 304 angstroms. Thank you for super chats, folks. That is fantastic. That makes a huge difference. I really appreciate it. And you are helping to keep our channel afloat. Harry Wire, I'm not paying off my carbon footprint. I'm increasing my carbon footprint. And on that note, we are out of here. So thanks for tuning in, folks. Thanks for the donations. We really appreciate it. More videos coming out, probably another one today. And yeah, remember, when you're staring at the sun, don't drink. And if you drink, stare at the sun anyway. Just don't drive. And since it'll never be now again, may the solar wind be at your back and the atherosclerosis absent from your veins.